Welcome back. My name is Lyndon for VisionaryFire.com. Glad you guys are still watching the Motion Fire training. You know, I've been using After Effects a lot for a really long time, so I've really mastered a lot of techniques. You guys are going to start picking up on these tricks and shortcuts as we go through this fire compositing stuff. So each Motion Fire element comes with 3 different lengths. There is the trimmed version, the standard length, and an extended version. So you can see here this one dies first, it's the shortest, then there's the standard, and then the extended version. And of course you can hold alternate and actually stretch and speed up these elements, alright? So they kind of match the duration of, you know, a certain motion better. Alright, so I'm about to show you guys some cool compositing tricks that'll sharpen up your visual effects skills, and also I'm going to show you efficient ways to use these Motion Fire elements so you'll save time. So now what we have here is the footage and the track which we made in the last tutorial. So the fire begins right here, and you can see that his hand is not moving from side to side, so we just want a stationary flame element. We're going to drag in the ignite, and I'm going to do the extended version. Alright, so immediately when I drag in a Motion Fire element, there's 3 things I automatically do. And knowing that there's 3 things to do helps keep my editing efficient and orderly. So if you can only remember 2 things, you know you're missing one, because there's 3 things you automatically need to do when you drag in a Motion Fire element. First of all, turn the blending mode to screen, and that's going to composite into your scene. It's going to get rid of the black. The second thing is to parent it to your track so that it follows the motion of the moving object, which in this case it's the hand. And 3, I move the anchor point to the base of the flame. Alright, I move it to the origin of the flame right here. And that way, if I want to scale or rotate this Motion Fire element, boom, it rotates from the right point, stays on the burning object. So 3 things automatically: the blending mode, track, and anchor point. Put it in the right point in time right here. And let's watch a little preview to see how this looks so far. And you can see the flame goes away before the hand starts moving. That's how the Motion Fire elements work. The flames burn away so that you can put in a new element that blends in with the old one and matches the custom motion of your scene. So now we want to drag in a start motion flame, right? Because the hand was stationary, now it's starting to move. Alright, so it starts moving right here. Let's drag in a start, maybe a start extended, and if it's too long, I'll just replace it with the start trimmed. Alright, and real quick, I'll show you how to replace an element. Let's say this one is too long. If you want to replace it with a shorter version of the same element, you select the element you want to replace in the composition, and then you drag the element from the project window and hold alternate on top of the element you want to replace, and it replaces the element just like that. Now that's a super useful technique. Make sure and remember that you have to have the layer selected in the composition and drag the element from the project window while holding alternate. Super useful. So again, as soon as I drag in a Motion Fire element, I automatically put the blending mode to screen, I parent it to the track, and also move the anchor point to the origin of the flame. Now I'm just going to position it in the right point in time, so it's a little too soon, so maybe like this. I probably want to grab the extended version, so hold alternate while this one's selected, replace it like that. So I can see he switches directions right about here, so I'm going to time it just right. And see, the way I'm doing this, and this is very important to notice as well, is I'm aligning it up with the left side of the flame, and I'm going to mask out the right side, right? If it's too thick, I just want to align it with the left side, and then I'll mask out the right side later, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Alright, and you can see that it doesn't quite follow the motion of the fingers. That's because with this version of the track, I actually didn't track the fingers. I tracked more of the hand, which I should have tracked the fingers. But what I can do is manually animate these elements. I hit P for position on this element, add a keyframe, move forward in time where it's not in the right position. I'm just going to move it exactly where I want it. Maybe add another keyframe. Right, cool, and you should definitely be able to get away with that. So now I'm going to talk about rotating your elements to blend with the other elements in the scene, right? For example, this shot, you can see that there's an element that's kind of going to the side, and there's also one that's a little bit more vertical. And what I'm going to do is actually rotate these elements to blend with each other. And trust me, this technique really helps. So I'm going to go to this point where the element is rotated how I like. Let's add a keyframe, and then go to this point. I'm just going to rotate the element until it aligns with the other one. Now, also I can rotate this element. So maybe it's good at this point. Now I just want to, kind of rotate it like this. And we can also keyframe the position of it a little bit as well. Alright, so pretty simple. What we're basically doing is just keyframing the position, rotation, and you can even do the scale to just blend with the other elements so that they don't look too different. You can't tell they're separate elements. Alright, another thing you want to look out for to make sure that your composite is realistic is making sure that the bases of your flames are in the same position, right? Alright, and if you already have position keyframes, you can go to the anchor point and move it without messing up your animation. Alright, and so now if you can see that your element's going off of your burning object a little bit, for instance, in this case the hands, what you can do is just grab the mask tool and just mask it out. Very simple. Hit M, go to the mask and turn it to subtract. Boom, and I like to add a little feather just to make sure it's not sharp. You don't see any sharp edges. And boom, that'll help it blend in a lot better. And you also probably want to animate your mask so that it doesn't cover the flame when it's in different positions. So we want to hit M for mask, and we want to add a keyframe. Go forward in time to make sure. See here, it's masking out too much of the flame, so we just want to change it. Alright, and now we can fill in these gaps that we have, like right here. We just want to grab another ignite element. I think I'm going to grab the ignite trimmed, screen blending mode, apparent to the tracking data. Also adjust the anchor point. Boom, 3 automatic adjustments. Then I can position it correctly in time, like that. And if the element lasts a little bit too long or anything like that, you can obviously hold alternate and stretch or speed up the clip so that it fits the duration of the motion a little bit better. Alright, and we just want to go through and match the motion of this moving object. If it switches directions, use the switch direction. If it starts moving, use the start moving element. If it stops moving, we have an element for that. Pretty much every motion. By the time you guys are downloading this Motion Fire pack, hopefully we have a lot better elements. We're going to do it with a better quality camera, better frame rate, and also have more versions of each fire motion, so you can add a little bit more variation. So we're going to apply screen blending mode. Also, you have the option of not using the screen blending mode. You can use the lighten blending mode. You can see in this example that the two elements are kind of adding together to create an even brighter flame. The lighten blending mode just takes the brighter of the two elements and doesn't add the colors together. So let's do lighten. You can see that it just chooses the brighter of the two flames. And that does really kind of help blend them together to where it doesn't create like a double translucent effect that makes the flame brighter. But then you have to pre-compose these layers because the lighten blending mode doesn't work with the background, right? It looks weird like that. So you have to pre-compose it. And we want to pre-compose anyway because we're going to add some glow and all that stuff. The only thing about pre-composing is it's hard to adjust the elements unless you just copy the footage into that composition and make it a guide layer. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that real quick. So we pre-compose this. Here's our flame. Now we want to do the screen blending mode with the whole composition. But inside the composition, each flame element has a lighten blending mode, right? And now if you want to adjust these elements, it's difficult because like we can't tell where the footage is. So basically we would just want to copy the footage, hit Control C, and paste it inside the composition where the fire elements are. So hit Control V, and then we want to turn this to a guide layer so that it doesn't actually render. It's just here for reference. So right click, turn it to a guide layer. So this guide layer here is just here for reference, and it's not going to render in the final composition. Also, if you guys like these fire sound effects, I'll let you guys download these for free, plus some other free visual effects resources in exchange for a review. I really need your review on my website. That really helps me so much. So just go to the place that you purchased this Motion Fire product, visionaryfire.com, go to the resources section and leave me a review, and that's automatically going to give you these free fire sound effects plus some other visual effects resources. It's a win-win situation. Please go do that, guys. Alright, so stay tuned for our next tutorial where we go over glow, color, and lighting effects. You guys make sure to conquer procrastination and stay motivated and make today a great one. And I'll see you in the next video.